Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the season finale of Andor. So this is where the climax comes to an end and we find out what's going to happen for possible season 2. So, let's start off with where this whole series went to, in the sense of we're at Cassian's mother's funeral. Now in this ceremony what happens is your body is, I think you're burned, you're cremated, and your ashes are mixed with specific type of liquid to build a brick, and your brick is added to the foundation. I'm not the foundation, but is added to the wall of one of the buildings in the city, in the on the planet, I should say. And so it's because of that that they have this big ceremony, and it's kind of like a parade type thing where they go through and everything else, and then the brick is placed where it needs to be. So while this is happening, Cassian makes it to his home planet, Ferrix, and he also who's there is the two people who were on mission with him, and the one who asked him to be a part of the mission to begin with. Other people that have come to the planet as well have been the woman who was in charge of the district. She's come down personally to see what's going on, and of course the commander of the um, police force, I guess you would say, that was a part of Ferrix before it was dismantled and the Empire took over. And we have a decent Empire presence there as well. So all these people are on Ferrix, and we're seeing things start to unfold. Well, people start to find out that Cassian is there. So now the buzz is going all around. The Empire is really cracking down, having their men search the area. Granted, they're waiting until the funeral so they can spot him and take him out. Now, the key thing here is they are not looking to kill him, at least not yet. They are looking to capture him and get as much information out of him as possible. The people who used to work with him, they want him dead because they don't want him to spew any of their secrets. So many people are finding out what's going on, that Cassian's alive. There's talk all around. Cassian basically makes a plan that he needs to get his ex out of um, captivity. Because I want to say prison because there she wasn't actually put into a prison, but she's definitely captured. Get her out and get her off planet as quickly as possible. And they need to come up with a plan. So he's talking to his old friends and buddies and explaining what they need to do, that he's going to get her out of there. And I think one of the big things that was not clear in the beginning of this episode, but definitely made it clear at the end, was the impact that Cassian's mother had on the entire planet, because they were allowed to have their funeral, and when they get to the end, apparently as part of tradition, the dead has a speech, um, and they talk about what needs to be done and everything else. So I am assuming that this is done when they think they know they're going to die. Um, and so what happens was she obviously recorded a message, and she basically tells the people of Ferrix that, guess what? We are done hiding. We are done running. Um, we need to fight this disease that's in the center of the galaxy, and it is the Empire. And this is where the Empire really starts to freak out, and they start to try to stop this, which only makes things worse. One of the big things his mother mentions, which I find very interesting, is she basically states that she knows that it's easy for a dead person to say fight because they're already gone. But she thinks that if she were to do it again, she would have woken up a lot earlier and fought a lot harder in the beginning when she could. And when they try to stop her speech, that's when the town erupts and there's just major casualties. I mean, people are fighting the stormtroopers. They're trying to break their line. Bombs going off from the civilian, which I thought was interesting, and taking down decent levels of military people, just taking them out one by one, and the Empire just obliterating as many people as they can, with little difficulty, unfortunately. The only reason why it was so difficult at one point was because the bomb went off and it disrupted what they were doing, and that's when they had to go completely on the offensive. Um, so during this time, they're taking people out one by one, all this stuff. Cassian finds his ex. He gets her out of there. He has to kill a few people, but he gets her to where she needs to be. He gets her on the jet and tells them to take off, and that he's not coming because he has some things he has to take care of. And then we have um, the head woman, I will say, the boss lady, gets knocked down and trampled. And luckily, the old commander of the defense force takes her and basically tells her she's safe now. He holds her to a blaster point so that way everyone thought that she was captured, and that they were part of the same group. So what happens is she realizes she's safe, she's happy, blah blah blah, and that's the end of that part. Now, one of the big things here is we see the guy who um, sorry, who asked Cassian to work for him. He gets to a ship and his ship's not working the way it's supposed to, and Cassian comes out and he's basically stating, "Oh, I'm surprised to see you," trying to play it nonchalant. And Cassian basically goes, "I know you came here to kill me," and he's like, "That was the plan, but you definitely didn't make it easy for me." And Cassian already put the blaster in the cockpit, so that way he said, "No, I made it very easy for you." And the idea is that he's giving the guy the choice on whether to kill him or not. Now, one of the big things here is obviously he doesn't kill him, but they leave it as a cliffhanger for that. And one of the big things we also see is the fact that the Empire thinks they have won by taking out that large garrison of troops of the rebellion, thinking that they've won. And also, we see the senator actually giving her daughter away. Um, Granted, they don't actually do the ceremony; they have to meet and agree upon it and all that stuff. But the fact that she's actually going along with the meet is incredible. But the other thing that I noticed too is that she also talked in the car, blaming her husband for missing money with his gambling problem. And the husband's like very defensive and very like I didn't touch any of the money. Now, granted, it's because he didn't. Now he does have a gambling problem, or supposedly has a gambling problem. But that being said, it was because of this that she's using this as an excuse to show the issue with the funds, and that it's not going to some rebellion at all, but the fact it's going to her husband's gambling problem, and she is not pleased with it. So we see all this, and that's how the season ends. And then there's an after credit scene, which is the finishing touches of the Death Star. Now, granted, we know that it's not done yet, but that being said, we're seeing it very close to being done, um, which definitely leads us to believe that we're going to be seeing more seasons, where we're going to get more of an idea of what's going to be happening in the future. But for now, that was definitely a great episode and a great season to begin with. So please let me know what you guys thought about this show, Andor. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you not like? What did you like? And tell me why. Overall, I like this part of the Star Wars history. It's right between 3 and 4 that I just think is so incredible, where it's the rise of the Empire, but also the rise of the rebellion, which makes it so much more telling on how difficult it was in the original trilogy. Now, that being said, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.